say, all right, I want you to say 4 naughty words. You're going to say fuckity, fuckity, fuck, fuck. Everyone. 1, 2, 3. Right, cool, we cleared the air. If I drop the F-bomb, you've just said more than I just did. Right, collectively, all of you. All right, cool. All right, so, when I spoke to both, well, this is actually the conversation I had with Zoe. Right, hi Zoe.
Hi.
Right, and I think by the end of it, you can see it sort of went off. This is the edited version because she's got a potty mouth. By the time we got to it, I went, oh snap, I think I've just written it. Right, I think I've just written this whole prezzo. Right, and I think the whole point was, I guess, at the end of it, Zoe said, please, do you want to come along? And Ben said, Steve, Mully, do you want to come along? And I said, little did they know, they gave me a black label invitation to go absolutely bonkers, right? We're going to have some fun here tonight. We have Captain Fun. Everyone say hello, Captain Fun.
Hello, Captain Fun.
He is in charge of the good times. He's got the beat. This is Jace. He's got the beat. Now, when I was thinking about what to call this, I couldn't really make up my mind. One option was, what the fuck is a zeitgeist? Right. The other one was, why David Bowie was a brilliant conceptual artist. I don't actually have any of his records, but man, I respect him because he was a great he was great at crafting concepts. The other one was, Mummy, where do ideas come from?
Who remembers this, by the way?
Does anyone remember this book?
Who had this book as a kid?
Yeah. I'm such a dad. My daughter now has this book. I am the proud father of two gorgeous girls, 4 and 8, both quite artistic. And we settled on this very exciting topic of designing a song. I guess hands up here like the other ones. Now, why design a song? I guess a little bit about me before. What struck me when I started designing, working in the world of experience design, is there were so many strong parallels between what I've been doing for years and then crafting experiences. And it was through the conversation with Zoe when she said, well, Steve, songs are experiences. And what we'll do later on is we're going to be sort of crowdsourcing through this conversation. This is a conversation, it's not just me talking and playing music. And we're going to be learning from you about your experiences. Right, so through the process of designing, we're going to be doing our own little research, so to speak. Now, I've got a confession to make. I am not a trained designer. Right? I can go, I'm a farm boy from way back, I'm from way out there, right?
Donald Trump is not a trained person.
Hold on to that. Using that later. Okay, so I'm not a trained designer. I just sort of tripped, fell, and landed in it. Like some of my peers did. It just seemed to be the right thing. It made sense. So I guess what occurred to me is that that there was such strong parallels. I don't necessarily want to take you through all the theory. You've actually, sorry, before I go into the whole music thing, right? Some people might go, does this guy actually know what he's talking about with music? So you know that I'm not talking bullshit. This is me on TV, MTV, bloody blah blah. I'm not that guy, obviously not that guy. Look at him now. Man, he could party. And I'm that guy. Alright, enough of that. Looks like my son. Yes, I'm old. Moving on. But yeah, so I kind of do know what I'm talking about, I guess, but I'm not one of those people that you've ever heard of in a band, right? So the band, you'll go, oh, who the fuck was that? But we're one of those bands that I think we did relatively well. We had an awesome time. We got exposure on radio in the US, and a little bit here in Australia, which is the golden rule with music. You've got to make it in the States or in London to make it here. So, moving on. So, designing a song. I've had this guitar for 20 years, it's got a personality. So, designing a song. Now, I'm not going to take you guys through all the theory and stuff, right? We've got the old doble diamond, you know this one, you know the audio camel humps, you've got the D school, right? Meh, right? It's good, right? Those things are good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing them. They're not necessarily for the design thinkers. I use these to communicate to people who aren't design thinkers, and I guess mainly because from this age I've been crafting and creating. So we can still go back to those models if you want, and we're going to, through the process of this, we're going to follow, I guess, to some extent, the design process to craft something. Now, bad news for you all. You're not going to be able to sit down and just stay still, right? Some people are going to get caught up here. Ben, already, So we're going to need a few people from the audience. Who here likes creative writing? Don't have to be good. Awesome.
I need someone else does it.
Who here writes poetry? Excellent. Tweets might count. So I had a volunteer at the back. All right, cool. So we had 2 volunteers. I think that's good. We're going to do a little bit of scribing. We're going to be a bit of scribing and also a bit of creating on the fly. It can't be all just me just reaching deep into my subconscious and pouring out a song on the spot. Try. But the fun in this is we are going to create, right? We're going to use some kind of process. Now, it will follow 3 kind of phases when we go through this. Firstly, we're going to talk about what you're feeling. Right? What's happening right now? So, Kingsley's on really cross.
Angry.
Angry. All right. But we're also going to talk about other experiences. So we're going to revisit that. And then we're going to go, what does that feeling sound like? Right? I love this picture. Absolutely love this picture. This is Star Wars. Where did they get their sounds from some of those creatures? And we recorded this guy. But what does the feeling sound like? So I don't want to scare you all, but some people might actually have to get up here and sing, or shout, or something. Right? So I'm going to grab a few of you to come up and do the same as well. Right, and then we're going to think about styles. What's the style? Right. Now, we've only just started. Right. In the world of design, we've only just got our concept. So once we've gone through that, we're going to have to converge. Snap! We're using convergent thinking. Oh shit, this is not a design lecture. But then we're going to have to go into detailed design. This is some little known band you might have known, I don't know, called Lana. Right, this is them rehearsing in their garage. Now, another forewarning is I think there's going to be a bit of iteration. Right? Jason, myself, Ben, yourselves, we're going to have a bit of fun. I don't know, how much time we got, Ben?
Depends when people start leaving.
Yeah, so we're going to do a bit of iteration, all right? And that's really what rehearsing is. We're going to do obviously the fast forward shortcut version, rather than spend hours and hours in a rehearsal studio, working hard at it.
Is it going to go platinum?
If you buy about 70,000 copies of it, then it will. Yeah. You hear that? It's going to buy. And then we'll get into delivery of sorts. Right? That's when you get up on stage. Again, another little known band known as Radiohead. But that essentially is, I guess, the process that we want to follow. So we're going to start talking about, I guess, experiences. So what I want to ask a few of you, and I'm going to need some people to step up And Rob, you're right there. Tell us about a song, a time, an experience where a song and an experience came together at the same time. Do you have any songs that remind you of a time?
A time. No, but I guess the song that came to my head just then was a very old song by the Trobs, and it's something about I want to live my life with a girl like you or something. Remember that song?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know why. But that's just what came to my head. So that's what I was feeling. So, and I don't even know what that song means to me. But.
Okay. But it's memorable.
But look, it just was just I was watching a movie or something recently, and that was sort of in the background. And I said, oh yeah, I remember that song. So it was a bit of nostalgia, I guess.
Yep. Okay. So nostalgia and songs is good.
I got one.
Yep. I think we might have to.
No. You mentioned, and a lot of people wouldn't necessarily appreciate it. Early 80s, interest rates very high, no jobs, graduated, the Cramps Goo Goo Muck.
All right.
Yeah, can you sing it?
I did see the Cramps once, and it ended up with the singer with a microphone in his mouth.
They used to do that.
Lux Interior, Nick Knox, Poison Ivy. Crazy band. Look them up. The Cramps. If you like rockabilly, psychobilly stuff. Moving on.
Which was, by the way, for those who don't understand, invented in the early 80s because it was so extreme.
It was extreme, mate. So was there a moment, was there an experience where was there a moment that you, or a time that you attribute to that song?
Yeah, absolutely, because we had the Razor Gang in politics, whose intention was to actually cut everything that mattered. We had interest rates of 18%.
Yep.
We had a serious threat of nuclear war. We had an ongoing war that was just beginning war in the Falklands. We still had the Cold War.
Yep.
Recession we had to have.
Well, no, actually not that one, a different one.
Yep.
The recession that happened earlier in Australia was deeper and was two of them back to back. Didn't matter if you aced every single educational requirement, you couldn't get a job. You could be like top student at a university, couldn't get a job.
So it's interesting how we tied, and this is why I wanted to talk a little bit about the spirit of the times and how that influences music. Ben, you like to party. Any songs that you attribute to having a good time? You think good time plus music, what song comes to mind?
Loads, but no matter what time, like party time or just any time. Fat Freddy's drop, Hope, especially at the bass drop.
Yeah.
You feel optimistic no matter how you go, which is awesome.
Hope by Fat Freddy's Drop, a reggae / soul band from New Zealand.
Here we go.
Yes.
One, and I think everyone will know this one. It's that One More Time song.
Yeah.
Because I was 17.
Daft
It was
Punk.
my first trip to Europe. No, it's not. It's like before that.
It was way
It's
before that.
from
Oh, it's original.
2000. Well, it's not. It wasn't Daft Punk, was it? Oh, it
We
is.
want-
I didn't
no,
know.
no.
That one more time.
We want to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was 17, first trip to Europe, like dancing, and it was like every place played it, so it just
Yeah.
makes you think happy, young,
Yeah.
in my mind.
I've got
Awesome.
one. I've got one.
Yeah, far away.
The Ivy New Year's Eve, 1999.
And
The song.
And the song.
1999.
Ah, Prince, of course.
Of course.
Of course. Too many hits. Now, I still remember when I first heard
Great night.
Teen Spirit by the Bar. I was at a mate's place surfing in South Australia somewhere. And I think it was just at that point where it was just a whole mishmash of what the fuck am I doing? So I did it again, didn't I? What am I doing? Don't know what I want to do. Everything sucks. And this band came along and I'm just like, oh, you guys. It smells like teen spirit
Yeah,
at the moment.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, so you can see how experiences and songs are so tightly bound, right? They're one and the same. Now, we're going to get into a little bit of that immersion. Right? So we need to immerse in what people are feeling. So I'm going to stop talking, and I want to hear from a few people. I want to hear one about I guess. We want some themes from you. So hands up, who has had a breakup recently? Anyone? Right? No, sorry, apologies, another caveat. This shit's gonna get personal. I'm up here, I'm gonna start singing at you. Right? I've done that in a while.
What's another source of angst other than a breakup?
Okay. People are leaving already. We want our money back and we didn't even pay you.
I've been refused entry to a pub when I was completely sober. That's pretty close to a breakup, really.
I think we've got discrimination or something going on here. Right. So there's injustice. We've got a theme around injustice. Right. We've got a theme around, I guess. Yeah. Pissed off with political situation. Who here has had like the most awesome time recently? Right. Who here's Leandro? So tell us about it.
My wife is 40 weeks pregnant, so
Oh.
anytime now I have to have the phone close to me.
Wow.
And it's been a
Man,
pretty good journey.
Now, so we're already getting a spike in intensity, right? So, what are people feeling? Right, we've got this injustice, we've got anger at the system, we've got the joy of new life, right? So this stuff, we're getting some really strong themes here. Now, what we need some more themes. Why? Because we're then going to go into what do those themes sound like. Right. I already got a good sense of what you're saying, right? And to yours some extent, and to yours a little bit, right? Now this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be collaborating and riffing off each other. Anyone had an awesome party recently?
Oh. Life's one big party.
Tell us about it.
40 birthday party last Friday.
Yep. Actually, I'm going to have to rope you up here anyway, because you're going to be coming up here being our poet. So, Actually, poets, can we both have both poets up here? That's empty.
Yeah, I've had it.
Okay.
We can fix that.
We can fix that. I think everyone should take a big, irresponsible swig of whatever they're drinking.
Some courage.
Ask the teacher. Yeah, go get another drink if you want one.
Have a swig of it.
Yeah, we're in here for a good time. Okay. So birthday party, new life, awesome time, being with friends. Anything else anyone would like to contribute?
I would just say in total contrast, solitude.
Solitude. Yep. Yep. What about just another one of just, hey, chill? Yep. Possibilities. Yep. Travel? Yeah. Okay. Awesome, I'm loving this. Woo. Being excited. Yeah. All right, so I think we got.
Just can't forget it, right?
Yeah, being excited. Yes, absolutely.
You got to come up to get your drink though.
There is.
Exhilaration, which I think.
Where am I going with that?
You don't actually have to like. We just might need some of that.
Over here.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
All right, so
Peer pressure.
right.
Don't be shy.
Okay. So we're going to have themes now.
Oh, that's good. You should be a songwriter.
We are so hey, wow, welcome. What do you want?
Sorry.
Take
Yeah, is it for me? Or is it rising to the challenge?
Rising to the challenge, that's better.
Rising to the challenge. All right, so we have one more around rising to the challenge. You can do it. Yeah. You mentioned one of my favourite bands, Phoenix. I absolutely love that. One of my favourite songs, Listomania by Phoenix. It was just like Ben was saying, it's one of those ones that just lifts you up. First time I heard it, absolute experience. Didn't matter where I was, actually. Okay, now we're going to have to...
Can I add
We
one
don't-
more? Rebellion.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we're in That's assuming we're doing rock and roll. Yeah, that's assuming we're doing... man, that is my go-to.
Leading the witness, Your Honour.
You're looking at these two guys, man. They're like...
Rising to the challenge, I have the tiger.
I the tiger, yes. So we've got rebellion, injustice. The thing is, we're going to be making a brand new song.
Oh, just
Yeah. We're going to go to a brand new song. Now we're going to have to, I think, we don't have until 1 a.m. As much as I love you all, we want to party.
How much beer do we have?
We have a songwriter in the house.
You.
And me.
I've written a couple of songs.
Come on. I'll play you with more alcohol.
Why, you want me to come up there?
Yeah. You've got to sing, we've got to sing. You don't have to stand up already. Please. Can we grab a seat for our friend here? My name's Steve.
I'm Steve.
I love this guy. I like his name. Steve and Steve. All right, let's grab a. Can we grab a seat, Steve?
There's a stool. Grab a stool.
From the thing?
Okay. Oh, we might.
There's a stool just over there.
Yeah. Our creativity is going to go down on. Yeah. Now I hate to say it.
Oh, cool. There you go.
We are going to have a few post-its. We are going to write some stuff. Steve, heads up. I think we might just stick with the whiteboard, but if we do run out of space, we've always got these little bad boys. Okay, cool. So guys, we have a sum total of 10 themes. We're going to have to tighten these up because we don't have all night. As much as I love hanging out with you all, we're going to have to trim these back a bit. So, awesome time. I think we might have to mix with something like exhilaration. Is everyone cool with that?
We're doing some affinity diagramming.
I think I'm just going to draw a line. I'm a very low fidelity kind of guy.
This is a wavy.
Yeah, there we go. Ooh, there we go. Excitement, acceleration. Now, I think there's something around the injustice, but I think let's go for rebellion. I think we. I don't know. Okay, hands up for rebellion.
Yeah.
I prefer rising to the challenge.
Okay. Hands up for rising to the challenge. Yeah, I'm not, I haven't got my abacus out, but I think the other. Yeah. Right. What about solitude or just chilling?
You excited?
Yeah, have we got one?
Chilling is more positive.
I think we got party. Okay. Now I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna make an executive call that we keep New Life and Joy. Right? Why? Because it's such an intense feeling. Parents in the room.
We just
Okay.
go with that one and forget all the other.
Well, let's pick a few of these, and we're going to see. We're going to try to answer the next question. So, what does the feeling actually sound like? Now, this is where it's going to get a little tricky. But what do we got? So let's pick one of these. Actually, I don't want to lead the witness. So, out of the ones we got, awesome time / birthday party, and rebellion and new life. Kingsley, would you like to pick one?
Of those,
Yeah, the ones we've marked. there. So
Awesome time.
awesome time. So, what do you think? What do you think an awesome time, exciting time sounds like? It sounds like we've got a bit of a faster pulse,
Yeah. It's happening.
right? Possibly fun. All right. Now let's try just a 4 on the 4 house beat. Let's see. Let's mix it up. So what do we got? What do we got here? We've got a bit of speed. Is that fast enough?
Go disco.
A little bit faster? A little bit faster? See, this is what happens with singers and drummers. Right now he's fucking cursing me. Oh, goddamn singer. You know, singers make jokes about drummers and drummers make jokes about singers. Alright. Let me feed. Alright, so what is. Wow, rock and roll.
That was Rebellion track, wasn't
What do you think? Bit of fun? Let's try it. Let's just see what it sounds like. Are we, you know, let's prototype. So, does that capture the vibe? Is there another vibe we could be going for?
That's more like a
Yeah, for awesome time? Is it?
It's not
Do you think it needs
exciting enough.
do you think it needs to be pumping?
I detected a small dose of funk, which might actually work with Rebellion.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can get us some rebellion. Yeah.
Like it's not saying it's a bad time.
I got a feeling it's a bit more sort of pumping, isn't it?
I almost think you got to build it up and then go bang, and then that's the awesome time. It's the build, and then you go bang into something like that.
I think we've got to get something that is just cruising along, pumping along. Yeah. 4 on the floor. Maybe, you know. And this is where we start iterating, guys. This is iteration central. Where we start going. I'm looking here, going, yep, it needs to be 120 beats per minute. I think. How's that feeling, guys? Yeah.
That's a bit more.
Yeah, a bit more awesome time. I think we need a bit of a rolling bass, you know, like a bit more of a walking bass line, major key.
I'm
gonna do that sound. I did not like that sound. So we
needs more soul for a good time.
yeah, it needs a bit more soul in it, doesn't it? Okay. We've obviously got to work on that one a little bit more. I think we're getting it. All right. Now, that's one concept. Firstly, we're testing, does it sound good, and also, is it working? And we're going to get there. Yeah. We're starting with a concept.
There's not much
Or a
excitement.
theme. Yeah.
Whereas with doing bottom up, you don't really want to say. Just getting all these various elements together and seeing if something happens.
Yeah, there's an imperfect science to it, I think, and this is why we're going to have to talk to our poets over and writers over here. So,
what would happen? How would the process be quicker if we just had something we wanted to do at the top level, and then we're down from that, and so we're aiming for something particular instead of I don't know, what are we going for?
So right now we're just going to test the I guess the theme that we want to go for. So what I'd like to do now is to pivot to let's say the rebellion theme, right? See what that sounds like. So that if that's one of the things a band does before they get together is actually work out what kind of band are we? What do we stand for? So you know we know generally that person, Bob Marley, stood for something and he had a particular style and sound that married or is intertwined with that. So too with James Brown. So the top down is essentially their identity, and I think that's what we're trying to work through here is what is the identity of this?
Yeah, alright. What's the identity of this room?
Of the song, I guess, that we want to create. So what's the theme, the style, what's the song about?
Coming from the poet's point of view, it'd be good to have a story or something that generates that feeling.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if we, instead of all that kind of vague kind of stuff, if there's something specific, that then those things would fit underneath that, as some of them relate to that one.
No, absolutely. I think this is where we need to flow and to flux. Like it's an imperfect science.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole concept of design thinking is that you first kind of go broad and you think of multiple ideas, and then you just put everything out there, and then after that you kind of try to narrow it down to the stuff that kind of works together and fits. So I guess kind of what we're trying to do right now is go broad, and then kind of narrow it down.
Absolutely. If I want to go back to the old double diamond, right?
It's designing for the hell of it instead of already have something, okay, this is what I want, and then do the design process to come up with what you want. Instead, you're just designing for the hell of it, and you might come up with something that someone wants.
Okay.
But they get you to embrace that discomfort, though. Because the broader you go, you're more open-minded about it, and then after that, you kind of narrow it down based on.
So Steve, tell us, are we in a divergent or a convergent stage right now?
We are definitely diverging right now.
Let's keep diverging.
We're still very much at this. So we've had a talk about our experiences. We've come up with some themes, and then we've sort of distilled those and we've converged them down into a couple of themes here.
I urgently need some
That's
why I'm wearing a suit.
So what is he rebelling against? Like
comfort.
What
he's rebelling against that too. Now, I'm not saying design and songwriting are the same, right? But there is an element of, I think, oscillating between exploring and then coming in. So as a teenager, you explored stuff, you came up with some themes, and then you converged in on it. As a band, like as a songwriter, I used to carry my guitar around this city and play gigs. And then I got together with a band, and then we had to explore who we were. And then eventually converged into it. We became this sort of punk rock band called Burn the Drama. And that became who we were. So there is an element, now we're trying to shortcut that process, like we are sprinting that process right here, because we're trying to work out what do we want to stand for in this session, and I'm thinking, hurry the fuck up and start rebelling. Right. So I need to get some serious distortion happening on my guitar.
Yeah!
So what we're actually doing now is we're testing concepts. Yeah, so we're doing concept testing, but it's still divergent, right? We're just starting, I don't really want to point at this thing anymore, but we are starting to work out, test out these things. So let's keep rocking, literally. So what does it sound? I just love this photo. I'm going to put it back up again. Let me get some distortion happening. Right. So, Kingsley. Now, what does rebellion sound like?
I'll tell you what rebellion sounds like. It sounds like Jello by Afra. You know, it sounds like Jello by Afra. I saw him in 1982 when things were bad, and I saw him in Canberra.
Yep.
And I was not in the mosh pit because I'm wise. And I was up the back of the university.
Yep.
And I could see stuff flying through the air.
Yep.
And Jello said to the crowd, "Please stop spitting at me." That is what rebellion sounds like. That is when people who pay to see you spit at you. That's 1982. That is rebellion.
Who else here is feeling rebellious? Yeah, yeah. I need a note. I need actually someone to make a sound as to what rebellion sounds like. I need one note. Right? No, that's not a note. That's a rhythm. That's cool. That's good.
You want to stomp your feet.
So does it sound a bit like?
Did we nail it? A bit lower, a bit lower. Yeah, a bit lower.
So we got direction there. We got some. We got direction. We've gone low, and then my ears are ringing. Whose ears are ringing? What? What?
Can I tell you a story? It's very short. I saw hunters and collectors at the same time. And,
Hunters and collectors.
Hunters and collectors. And they had a horn section, which is good. And they had musicians. And they had a drummer. And then they had a percussionist.
Yeah.
And the percussionist looked like he came from the Cro-Magnon era. And his entire job was to play an oxyacetylene cylinder with a
Gas ball.
That was from that period. That's rebellion. This is our rebellion.
Do we have a gas ball? We've got a printer. We've got a fire extinguisher. How much do you guys value your printer? All right, but how's that feeling? Were we somewhere in the vicinity? I could hardly hear what I was playing.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
Maybe even try a little bit lower still.
I can't get much lower than that.
Oh, you've got the wrong kind of guitar.
Unfortunately, physics is not letting me go any lower.
Maybe
okay.
it needs to be more bass dominant, maybe.
Maybe, absolutely. So we've been through. We've done sort of the upbeat. We've done the rebellion. What's the other one we want to do?
New life?
All right.
Or is that birthday party?
Birthday party. Have we not done the birthday party already? That's kind of connected to the other one.
I think new life. New life.
Yeah, let's give that a go. All right. What's it sound like? Leandro, what do you think it's going to sound I got a feeling it's just got a really subtle 4 on the floor. Just start on the 4 on the floor. All right, so let's take a vote. You know, let's do something like, you know, we're going to have to pick one, right? So we had the. I'll just quickly run through them. I think we had the good times, I think, or was it more like the housey kind of thing, 4 on the floor? But I think we had a bit of funk. We had a bit of sort of a house vibe. We had our, you know, real right rebellion. Yeah, we had a bit of that, and then we had a nice sort of chillin'. So, all right. So 1, 2, and 3. We need to take a vote.
Okay, put the names to it, the words to the 1, 2, and 3.
Ah, poets.
No,
All right.
no,
Let's come up with a
don't
name.
number them, but
No, let's come up with a name.
No, I mean that. Don't ask to vote 1, 2, or 3. Ask to vote solitude, rebellion, and the other one.
I think it was. What was it again?
Awesome time.
All right. So we're going to have to take a bit
So
of.
yeah, just awesome, rebellion, solitude. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Wasn't solitude?
New life.
No, it was new life.
No, but I mean just ask for the names, not the numbers, so we don't get confused.
Yeah, it's cool. I wasn't going to go with numbers. That's cool. Yeah. So, okay. So we're going to do an audio vote, right? You have to actually shout out, yeah.
What's the new life choice sound?
The last
The
one.
last one.
Was it?
It's the last one.
What was the solitude?
No, we
We
didn't
didn't
do
do
that
that
one.
one.
Solitude's not it. No,
We don't, unfortunately, as much as I love you all, we do not have all night.
no, I was just thinking.
Alright, moving on. Yep.
Moving on.
Yeah, okay, let's move.
Right then. Woo! Nice, rubbing. Okay, so we have now. We're just going to huddle here. Any thinking music? Okay, so we're going to do an audio vote. You actually have to literally stand up and say, yeah, if you really like something, and then I'm just generally going to pick one. Okay, so for awesome time, audio vote. So yeah, if you like awesome time. Well, fuck. All right. Next. All right, that one's out the door. We failed fast on that one. All right. Next one is going to be. I'm making fun of you. Rebellion. Yeah. Okay, Rebellion did a really good job of that one. All right. And last but not least, I'm not doing any choice architecture on this one at all. Is the new life. See, I told you I'm just going to randomly pick this one.
But should we give the early ones another go? Because the first one was disadvantaged.
First one.
People warming up. So do the first one again.
We're going to move on. All right. Okay, so we're going to do that kind of chilled out. I think we're going to run with that one. So we're going to have to get into detailed design. All right. Now, we've kind of got a sense of what it sounds like. That's cool. You know, we've gotten further than a lot of bands do in like months. Right? Smoking pot and sitting going, who are we, man? What are we saying?
That was on the agenda.
I thought you had it sorted.
So this is band relationship.
I brought the coke, you brought the weed.
This happens. Band relationship.
Did you not film that?
Too late.
Yeah.
It's your job.
Look, it's a problem when the
The
drummer's not.
singer never brings the drugs.
I'll tell you, it's a problem when the drummer doesn't get paid.
That's it, I'm out here. Mic drop. I can't work in these conditions. There's a joke about singers. What is it? It's how do you know if a singer's at your front door? Right? They can't find the key and they don't know when to come in. How do you know that your stage is level? The drummer is drooling out of both sides even.
I like that.
That's a double one. That's a good one, isn't it? All right, okay. So we are going to have to do a little bit of wordsmithing. You don't have to say anything. Write some shit down. Yeah, that's good. All right. Write some shit down.
What did we decide?
I've been watching a lot of Jim Jeffries lately, so I apologise to everyone. And
What are we?
like, seriously, that guy's vulgar.
New Life. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I've been a bit inspired by his vulgarity. Moving on. Okay, so we have our poets over here, but I guess, Leandro, you're the muse. Give me actually, this is a weird exercise. I used to do this in my band, and I used to piss them off at work. I said, if this was a movie, what movie would it be? Look who's talking. All right. Anyone else? Yeah, so what we're trying to do, okay, so...
Is this new life?
Yeah. Now, parents, any parents in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, you've been very quiet, so I'm going to, all right, zero in. Give me a picture. Describe a picture of you know, you think of new life. What's the first picture that comes into your head?
My gummy little 4-month-old baby squealing.
Squealing. Right. So now we're going to have to find different ways. We're all going to try to find a way to describe this. One of the techniques that I use a lot in lyric writing is to imagine a picture and then describe it using metaphors. Never actually describe the thing exactly. Right? Never. You're always skirting around. Why? Because I want to fuck with the heads of the people listening. No, don't say that out loud. Is it working? Okay, so we've got one around, I think it's the sounds, the squeal. I think you're going to make there's going to be something around. Echoes of delight. Right? Echoes of delight. Right? I am bouncing around the topic. Well, let's grab that one. Firsts. Firsts. First.
Thirst or first?
There's something in your belly.
First is the
it's
other.
only 1 month old.
What is that? Now, can you describe that? Like,
I was going through some hard questions because I booted his dad out before I knew I was pregnant because he started beating up. So there were questions around abortion and stuff. But I got the sense that there's this, I was getting attached to whatever was in my belly there. So that made the decision to run with it. Some connection.
It is the... But it's more than just a...
It's,
what is it?
It's, there's a warmth to it. It's, you know, it's just as much someone that lived in the house as what the cat was, I suppose. And like, it's that real sense of there being life and a soul in there.
So as you're riffing, we're just grabbing these key words and we're going to find a way to string them together. All right. Now we are going to oscillate from fun to serious to fun to serious. And we're going to go, oh, that works, that doesn't work. Right. For me, there was a big element, I guess, of fear. Right? Fear for me. And it wasn't just fear now. It was like, how the fuck am I going to deal with this? How am I going to be the person I need to be? So that's a bit of me pouring shit out, right? I'm telling you, but that was part of it.
But there's
So
also the other side of that feel, like you may be, you know, just before the birth you're scared shitless, and then there's a feeling of relief, and then you start to fear the next thing. So it's sort of this up and down feeling, and it's probably more the most sort of, you know, bipolar you get, in my life. But anyway, you go from highs to lows, and particularly if you have a difficult birth, or you know.
Yep. Now I've just got two themes that I think are really two little mini phrases. I think something that's around that swinging from high to low. And I've already got a metaphor. You have too. Awesome. There's something about that relief that you're finally here. You're talking to this little soul. You're just going, I remember holding it, just going, Christ, thank God you're here. Everything's there. You're here. Right? Now I've got to deal with the next episode of trying to work out how I'm going to deal with this. Like, where's the instruction manual? Where's the instruction manual? I forgot it.
So you need to protect them, or can you let them run loose? And How much?
Toddler taming before that, the instruction manuals.
Yep. Now, somewhere out of this, we're going to keep going. Yes?
So are we saying like lights or like ideas for the song?
Yes, absolutely. If you've got a line.
Oh yeah, piercing the veil of darkness.
Piercing the veil of darkness. Ooh. Yeah. And even sort of, I guess, coming into the light, I guess. Piercing the veil of darkness.
When babies open their eyes.
Can you elaborate a little bit on more? What are you seeing what are you visualizing when you say that word?
It could be anything. It could be a baby opening their eyes. It could be like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon.
Oh, someone got that? Because I can't write fast enough. Like, we're getting metaphors and similes just pumping out, bang, bang, bang. You should see the pile of notes that I've got at home from doing exactly this. And the thing is, as songwriters, we constantly steal from ourselves. And that's a very bizarre thing to say, but I'm actually stealing from my brighter self. So I will go back through all my stuff and just go, that's crap, but that's gold, I'm keeping that. And that sort of somehow goes off into my little subconscious cloud of ideas. And so I'm going to give you a confession. That riff I played before, that's an old one. It's one I've never really put into a song before, but I've loved it, right? I really love that riff. But I've never found a home for it. And I'm hoping tonight we do, right? So, cheap! Okay, so but there's piercing the veil of darkness, but there was the opening of the eyes.
Butterfly.
Got that? Yep. Now, I'm going to reiterate. What we
You look at them and they're not focused on anything. You think that there's a catastrophe happening.
Can I synthesize that into catastrophe or something?
Punani.
Number 3. Oh, God. Yeah, there's definitely something around the smells, I think.
Awakenings would be
One thing I remember is definitely the smell of a baby's skin after being cleaned and washed. There's something about the smell of the child, right?
It's also the touch, how smooth their skin is. It's just amazing.
You got it?
Yeah. I'm trying to think about the.
Yeah. I think you knew,
line. When they first come out, they're covered in that.
You're really into fluids, if it's a rebellion song, so we can satisfy Kingsley and Leon.
I missed the point. Are we not
Your
trying
kid just smells like shit.
I thought we were trying to mash up rebellion.
No, we're just going with the one thing.
Okay,
My baby is
But on that theme, I used to find that his baby poo, breast milk poo smelled like vanilla.
Right. Catastrophes, smells.
What about vulnerability?
Alright. Now somewhere in here we're going to I don't think we're there yet. Right? So do you have anything, or have you already been transferring yours up to
I've got like 5 or 6.
Oh, legend.
No, I've got a 10 here.
What's
Watch this. Automated.
Oh, look at this.
That's just the place.
Yes.
They're like looking. They're like,
Backstage working. There is something in that moment. I'm going to describe 3 moments, and I might actually use them in the lyrics, right? There's one where they first really see you. Not just vaguely just looking stuff. Like they look at you, into you, right? That's the first time. The second one is when they laugh properly. They're not just having a fart, right? They actually, because people go, oh, they're smiling. No, they're just about to do one. No, but when they genuinely, their eyes are smiling, man, that stuff rocks your world.
They hold your finger for the first time.
There's that. That's largely an involuntary reflex. It is. You stick that goes. I'll grab under anything.
Steve Mulligan, shattering dreams.
Sorry.
That's to pull my finger.
But there is, but about hands though. Now this is an interesting one, and I don't know how I'm going to weave this into the song, but I damn well try. It's when they look at their hand for the first time and go, oh fuck.
That's me.
I'm doing that. No, seriously, I've seen it twice. Both my daughters, the very moment they went, that's me, right? That awareness, that was the awakening, right? But it was something about that awakening, right? That they felt they were emerging, they were constantly emerging through life. And man, you're just sitting there going, this is an amazing moment. Anything else anyone else wants to share, Ben?
First time they vocalise that they love you and you feel like you're going to explode.
Yes. It's getting all soppy, don't we?
We can't exactly go to Coldplay here today.
So do you explode? Do you explode or do you melt?
You implode, explode, melt all at once.
You don't know whether to explode or to melt. All right, we grab that. Please. We don't know whether to explode or to melt. We don't know. So, and this is a great thing in songs is to muck around with contradictions. Right? Our good mate Kurt Cobain used to do it all the time. Conflicting emotions, contradicting messages. But it was something about that contradiction. Right? So you're scared yourself, but you're trying to make them feel safe. Right? You don't know how you're going to do it. There's a fear of how you're going to do it. But you're worried about how the hell you're going to make someone else feel safe for the rest of their life until they're 18. On they go. Good luck with that in Sydney, you know. Okay. How are we going, folks? Is there anything there that really pops out as a bit of a slogan? So,
I'll have a crack. Let's piece a few things together around connection with piercing the veil of darkness.
hang on, get to the microphone.
I put a few things together and thinking about piercing the veil of darkness, so when they first open their eyes, but it's also piercing that veil of connection. When they first see you, they actually connect, and mum and the baby actually connect.
Yep.
When you think about, as adults, sometimes you hear about people being anxious about connection and belonging, and yet once you've got that relationship with the child, then you sort of have that place of belonging forever with that child.
And I don't know you, but I love you is where it all starts from.
Okay. So I don't know you, but I love you. I think it's having that connection. Right.
Something in that moment at you, into you. That's beautiful. They were your words. It's up there.
Oh, you got it? Got
Yeah.
it? All right, we're going to have to...
Third column, second
Now-
last.
We have drummers itchy to get going. No, come on, drummer. Come on, Dave. Come on, Captain Fun. Captain Fun.
Captain Fun.
JD, what do you think? Is there anything up here that you think is going to... I'm going to have a beer.
What about your bass player?
No one asked the bass. No one asked the bass player ever.
He's the one who gets the phone numbers. It's never the singer or the drummer. So where's the bass player? No, because they always...
They're the smart ones, yeah?
Yeah, because they're just sitting there just going... Lowest effort.
100% agree. Lowest effort for sure.
Yep. I think there's something about the work of Coon that I think we should be... You know what, right now I am scared shitless. Why? Because I'm going to have to find a way to craft a chorus.
Cocoon is actually a bit soft-like.
A chorus. Help me out here, brother. I think we're going to need... You want the screen. Let's get on. Let's get it on. That's a baby making.
That's James Brown. That's
Yeah, that's the fun part.
I've got a quickly go with here. I'm being rude. So I'm going to get one. Creativity juice. All right, moving on. So let me just have.
Let the drummer in.
The drummer's in.
Come on, drummer.
Would you like a video? I want to run with that. There's something there. All right, I want to hear what that sounds like. You need not pretend. Let's tell us something else.
So from a design perspective, are we looking for threads? Because if we've just gone through ideation, so the designers in the room, we've got a stack load of details around the connective tissue of what this song might be, right? So are we looking for a thread of a vibe? Is this thing a happy song, New Life Joy? Right? Because there's a couple of things up here that can kind of go deep and dark, right? Right. So yeah, what's the intention?
No, I mean there is tension in that which it has a tension that will accommodate both the happy and the fearful.
So if we take that as some creative input to try and find a thread here, so in your head you feel that there's a riff, there's a 4/4. Doesn't quite go with this bounce baby. No, so there's something. Can we filter out maybe a thread that kind of fits that?
Yeah, I'm gonna start singing. You poor people. You're gonna have to indulge me. I'm gonna forget you're here. That's actually what happens.
Something in that moment.
Kind of jamming on this timeline. So I think that's great.
Someone to be writing this down because I cannot.
Can you remember it?
No, that's the problem.
Recorded.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we've got a timeline theme from this, which is a really lovely way to string a thread together. That the unknown, the fear, to the joy and the elation. And there's this sine wave that you go on, this roller coaster of, oh my God, we know we're going to have a baby, to holy crap, to, you know, the 9 months of, right? So there's some really lovely themes that fit that timeline. Does this riff, are you feeling that this riff kind of has that rhythm of a timeline? Think about it as along this ocean of emotion. Oh, there you go. How's that for
Thank God. Right. Okay, that's all right. No, this is writing, ladies and gentlemen. And again, please feel free to chime in because I'm going to start forgetting you're here. All right, I'm going to start quite up in my head. And my band used to hate this because it'd be like, fuck, he's not here anymore. All right, I'm off somewhere else. All right.
So what is that like when you work with other people? Because this is a really important point to the process, right?
Well, again, I'm stealing from myself.
Sure.
Right. So, and this is my sorry.
And them.
Yeah. But
I'm excited because this is going to be a hit.
You all want royalty.
Yeah, we all want royalties, man. We were in the room. People are collecting evidence, right? Post-it notes.
No, I'm just trying to get that consensus. When you work and collaborate with other people at this point, when you're ideating, you generally get a couple of egos that will run away and go, I know what to do. I've done this before, it works, right? And then you get the rest of the group that are going, well, hang on, aren't we in for the journey? Aren't we in doing this together? So you do get that dynamic of, oh my God, I know what to do, pick me. Yeah. Versus that we're still muddling through it.
Yeah.
And you got to let different people take the lead at different stage.
That's right.
Hey, Molly.
I've never seen that.
What? I forgot you were here. It's true though, because when I joined a collective of musicians, the songs improved, right? They would actually go, no, that lyric sucks, dude, right? Doesn't go with my bass line. But seriously, I think the collaborative nature. Now, what we are going to need to form here is a sense of, yes, there's a storyline, yes, there's a theme, but we actually need a catch cry, right? We need a catch cry, something that we actually sing, and it's got to have pace, it's got to have timing, it's got to have something about it that it's nearly in the intonation, it's nearly in the rhythm, it's nearly in the enunciation of the words. My God, he's talking vague shit. But it's true. There's something around. You think about your most favourite chorus. It's nearly like a slogan. It's nearly like a catch cry for a feeling, and it's also the way it's delivered. I think there's some really good stuff here. You said something before around being lost in an ocean of
Oceans of emotion.
Oceans of emotion. All right.
Have you got a notion?
Too much cheesy?
A notion of a notion of emotion.
I used to be from the Blood On gang.
We are in the imperfect world of detailed design right now, right? So we're in this imperfect world of, I think we've got some really good stuff here that we need to coalesce into, or at least distill into some groups. So, do we go chorus first and then verses? I've done that before. Sometimes the chorus just pops out and I'm like, oh man, I need to write the rest of the song. Other times you sort of build it bottom up from all of this content. Now, I'm going to have a stab at this. I'm going to have a crack at it. So please bear with me. This is
the moment.
This is the I guess
prototype.
Really super rough. And I'm not sure I actually need. You must be gathered. I don't really need the microphone to sing. I was born with some pipes. Okay. So I think just a gentle 4/4 flat, sort of like a really soft house.
Yeah, you want to build.
Yeah.
Collaborate. Something.
I think it's nearly like the whole verse is nearly just. What's that chord, bro? I'm just sitting on an E, I think. Then it's an A. And let's move between those two for a while. Copying or not copying. Amount of time you kill a song because you go, oh shit, that sounds like someone else.
The beginning of Pecotich from Radiohead, maybe think of the beginning part of this where you're not sure what's happening.
So do you feel like it's a...
The atmosphere.
Ah, okay.
Do we want to sell this and not get sued?
Man, I just want to make it through this session with a song. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid YouTube. I really am. Yes, we've got the whole edge thing and the We're just going to have to do it, aren't we?
I mean, Coldplay made a fortune out of copying you too.
Yeah, exactly. They have.
All the songs, the same riff.
What if I
the
did it
same
like
chords.
top weights? If I did it really low and deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it Kingsley Jones?
I don't know. I'm gonna get up and mess up that whiteboard soon.
Imperfect science. I'm going to go for it. Now, can I ask a favour? You literally try to write down what I'm saying as I'm singing, because I never forget, I never remember it fast enough. And we've got it like that.
Thank God you're here. I've been lost in this ocean of fear. I've been trying to find my way down. Who you need? Who you to stay? You open your eyes, practice forward,
Alright, we've got a verse. How's that feeling? Huh? What? Yeah.
What you got going?
So we need to lift it up, you're saying? We need to
Well,
take
no,
this
I'm
up.
saying what you got there is like a great release.
Yep.
Make something a little bit darker and capture
Slower and
and
anxiety.
make that work.
Alright, so we could actually really pare it back to something really quiet.
That's
You could cut it back to like the relative minor, like a C minor sound or something.
Okay.
Maybe.
I was thinking of something like actually switching it up like a different note. Like taking it up to another level. Feels very. I think that actually the keys will clash. One is very much a minor key, and I don't think the other one is. I think the other one's sitting in major. Yeah. Now, there's only a few artists I know that can actually hover between those, like go from one key, like from a major to a minor in a song.
Just one of them, not you.
Was that?
Design constraint, people. Design constraint.
You know, like you were like really emotional in the chorus part. If it's really
So I'm going to question whether that was actually voice. That didn't feel like a catch cry to me. Catch cry feels like something that you could potentially repeat. So, can someone tell me their favourite song and actually at least tell me the words of that chorus? Yep. So someone had, they will never tear us, someone said in excess before, they will never tear us apart. Alright? Okay, so that was what
doing in excess, not enough time. As a catch cry.
The subtle wind up there.
I wasn't.
that's kind of like so you go typically it's standard structure, all right, and again design constraints, but we're running out of time. Is you go verse and then some kind of pre-chorus and then chorus. Now the two will flow quite nicely. We can be heroes for just one, like Bowie. Like there was something about that. Right? There was something about it was repeatable, memorable, and you'll be singing to yourself by the time you leave. Now that you're here.
You opened your eyes.
Yeah. So I'm going to change that up to. So let me run through and we'll see if we can get it. Right. Now this is me obviously taking different riffs from all the different stuff I've done before, and I'm going to try to do something. Right. So what do we got here that really jumps out at us as smiling in my sleep. There's something there. There's the catch cry right there.
That's from a mother who said she was watching her baby.
Yes.
And the baby was smiling in her sleep.
Yeah, so it could be smiling in her sleep or smiling.
Smiling in your sleep, I think.
Smiling in my sleep.
But I reckon that's the last line of the chorus. Right? That's the last line.
I think it needs to be more about life, about this person from now on, not in the chorus, not just necessarily from being born. Because if you're thinking about the feeling that you're feeling from the person being born, you're thinking about their whole life. So if it's the chorus, it should encapsulate everything, really.
Okay.
So whatever words we've got there. Yeah.
Perhaps to say something that.
I was going to ask you, actually.
I think it's something like, I'll give you everything.
Yep.
Because normally, and then the world is yours, or something like that.
Oh shit, write that down.
I have an idea.
I'll give you everything. So we got to capture each. Hold it.
And the world is yours.
The world is yours. Go for it.
My idea is like the baby is smiling seriously, but the parent or parents came from troubled backgrounds where they've never got any joy in their life. And so there's this tension between the chorus, the baby smiling in their sleep, and then the verse is the troubles the parents are suffering.
So I give you everything. The world is yours. There's something around that theme, right? And in my from this troubled life.
Comes good.
Yeah, something you've emerged. When I see you smiling in your sleep.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. You make it worth it when I see you smiling in your sleep. So I give you everything. The world is yours. From out of this troubled life, you make it worth it. You make it worth it when I see you smiling in your sleep. Sorry, go ahead. No.
I'll just give you like meaning, think of your love.
Yep.
There.
How's that sounding? No, we've got to actually road test it. No, we've got to actually. Yeah, I know.
That's a good sort of fleeting moment.
Yeah. Yes. And then they have a poo in their nappy. Yeah. Go for it. Yep. Okay. Hold on to that sentiment.
That vibe, man. Hold on to that vibe. Users.
What's the vibe of it? No, but seriously, hold on to that because we need something to build on into the second verse. Right. So we've got something around I give you everything, the world is yours, from out of this trouble. Right, so
Can we put world instead of life? This is about life. The baby's life. Like the troubled world.
I got to think.
yeah, but there's something really personal about this.
Yeah,
All right.
I've got to think for you.
Yeah.
Which goes back to the very beginning and the cramps. It's a story. No, it's a story. It's a story that most people wouldn't really appreciate. But no, seriously. No. But for the benefit of people here, they wouldn't actually really appreciate why it's important. But when Lux Interior met Poison Ivy, it was a truck stop. He picked her up as a hitchhiker, and they were an item for their entire life.
Yep.
So they were like in a realm where they were punks, they were before punks, they actually were pre-punk when they started. But they stuck together forever.
Yeah, they did.
They did. And what I would say to you, which is around this, is that there's a little bit around this stuff, what you're talking about, which is, if it gets difficult, why do you actually stick together? And I think that's one of those relationships where it's emphatic.
Now,
You never leave each other.
we may not. I want to keep that for the chorus. Yeah.
I have one idea to possibly string it together.
Yep.
As a parent, I was thinking the words that keep coming to me now is because you look like me. There's an ocean of emotion. Why? Because you look like me. I want to give you everything. Why? Because you look like me.
Yeah. It's like a mirror. Literally, like a seriously.
Well,
I
it's not
never
like
call
a
it.
stranger's child or a step.
No.
Just something because you look like me, there's something about where these emotions come from.
Okay, why don't we have kids to help us die?
Well, debate for us.
Legacy.
Steve had a good line before, which I don't think I caught, which was, what did you say, mate? Something about open the doors? When you were rhyming it with Eric's on yours?
I can't remember.
It was good anyway, and it rhymed. And it actually matched the book for it. So.
I think I've got something here. Can you please indulge me? Because we've got to write a song somehow. We've got to write a song. Right. So I'll give you something as what I've written up there as a chorus, as a into chorus. I give you everything, and the world is yours. From out of this troubled life, you make it worth it. You connect while I'm colliding. I see you smiling in your sleep. How's that?
Give it a shot.
Now I've got to sing it. It's haiku. No, but that's it is.
Pre-chorus haiku.
So that one, obviously, the chorus is going to be a bit more. You're going to splash a lot more on the cymbals and have some fun with it. What do you think that chorus beat sounds like? So,
I think the build is quite interesting. You know, we talked about the timeline thing, right? Like the unknown. There's a lot of non-structured accents, that kind of stuff to begin with. But into the first verse and rhythm, you probably that kind of feel. Pre-chorus would probably go maybe or
Now it is true.
just going to be the hook at the end of what, I don't think it's going to be a full rolling chorus. And I give you everything, and the world is yours, no matter this troubled life, make you resolve. Every chorus has to have some kind of resolution. So I give you everything. The world is yours. No matter this troubled life, you make it worth it. Give you everything. The world. Something, something, something. Connect well.
It's also uneven.
Like maybe just put like something like beautiful perfection, and you keep repeating beautiful perfection.
I like that as a loop, as a hook.
I heard you say like when you're smiling, and then that ends that line, and then you say smiling, and you're saying like 2 lines with the same connecting word.
So when you're smiling, oh, we got it. When you're smiling, you connect while I'm colliding. When I see you smiling, you're smiling in your sleep. All right, we've got something. Chorus, all right.
That's good.
Everyone take a deep breath. I'm going to. That's like, no, seriously, this rarely happens. All right, rarely happens. I've taught songwriting several times. I've been a mentor to songwriters, and it's really quite challenging to get something that really resonates like this. So when you smile, you connect while I'm colliding. So you're smiling in your sleep. How do we feel about that?
Awesome.
All right, cool.
That's
All right.
lovely.
So I'm going to try to sing it. Might just try it just quietly to start with. So when you're smiling, when you smile. I need something to resolve on. What are we going to do, Ben? That's listening to you quite quietly. No, thanks. I want to start nicely. So we need to resolve on the E. I think so. When you smile, you connect while I'm alive. I think the challenge I got at the moment is I've got to get the melody right. Yeah. The next bit is the melody. Yeah. Steve, any thoughts on the melody? We literally need to work out, like, do we go from E to, B sharp?
Yeah, work us through those.
So, the melody I've got on my guitar is not necessarily matching what I got in my head, but it sounds a little bit like this. So let indulge me for a second.
thing is,
I still feel that second last line's dodgy.
Yeah, yeah.
Smiling.
The colliding one, so there's a mood thing happening with the lyrics. Yeah.
I'm colliding.
But you connect while I'm colliding. Now, I think this, so you're my muse for... everyone say goodbye to Leandro. Here's our muse for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been our muse for that particular point, right? What we've got here is the emotional tension between...
But you can still smile even though maybe that shit's gone.
It's bittersweet.
You know,
isn't it?
yeah, but the smiling and colliding rhymes.
Yeah. And it's, well, yeah, don't fuck with the rhyme too, by the way.
It's your emotional turmoil.
Yes, it's the bittersweetness of it, right? And it's something, as human beings, for some weird reason, we do like to resonate with the bittersweet.
Because it's real.
It's real. It is life. You know? Where's our colleague on? He's saying, you know, that's bullshit. It's not all bloody flowers and roses, butterflies. And you're right. You're right. You know, it's there's an intensity to it. There is a bittersweetness to it. So I wouldn't mind. You know, we're not going to. Perfect is the enemy of good, right? We're not going to get to perfect tonight. Hey, it's sounding all right. Yeah. Right. And I'm tapping into, I guess, my little universe of ideas and riffs and stuff. And as is JD, as is Ben. So we're all tapping into all these and we're coalescing these really quickly with your help.
So do you need a bit of bitter to go with the sweet? Is that
Sorry?
what you're saying? Do you need a bit of bitter to go with the sweet? Is that what you're
I think
saying?
we've got a
troubled
little
lives and
touch.
colliding. We've got some bitter.
I think we've got a smattering of that, where you connect while I'm colliding, all right? Like
yeah.
the person's in turmoil, so I think we've got a bit of that. So, you know, I give you everything. Oh, come here, turn on. I give you everything. The world is yours. From out of this troubled life, you make it worth it. I see you smile. You connect while I'm colliding. I see you smiling in your sleep. Oh, I think we've got something there. So we've now got a verse, we've got a chorus. Let's play through those, and I reckon we're going to have enough momentum to push us through the second verse. Now, are we going to do it middle eight? Yeah, fuck no. Take it to the bridge! Take it to the bridge! I will most probably do one out of habit. Does anyone know what a middle eight is? It's that pause after the second chorus where it changes. And then you go back to the chorus again. And it's so formulaic, right? But sometimes it sounds awesome. So let's have a go. Let's have a go. All right, pulse check. Are you guys having fun? Yeah. Are you enjoying this?
Yeah, we get taken to the bridge.
Take it to the bridge.
Can the drummer get some?
Yeah. Well, can the drummer give me some? Oh, lovely. Lovely, thank you.
Because the drummer had a long time.
Just the top one.
Just that one there.
Give the drummer some.
All right, so we've got, so we're going to, sorry Ben, this is another little riff that I thought I'd bring to the mix. So,
Iteration number 13.
yeah, iterate. typical formula is you only ever do that, like the chorus line, once for the first time. Then the next time you repeat it. All right. I'm actually slightly exhausted. And we need to write the second verse. Right. Steve, please help. No, but, okay, so how are we feeling? How are we feeling?
Not good.
Good, good. No, I reckon for this one it's just straight thumping. It's nearly like a house track. All right, something like that. All right. What's this one? A flower blooms from our sin. Come on, baby, jump right in, because we'll grow old and you'll grow in.
Nice.
Right.
That's very
good.
That's good.
Boom. Rock. That's right. Yeah. Like that. Thank you.
Right here. Steve.
Legend. Brief. Now, you mentioned something before that was like an elaboration on this, wasn't it? What was that? What was that?
I'm sorry. Was that what I said about
Lux Interior and...
Oh, Lux Interior. Yeah, love to the max.
Right.
Unbelievable.
It's a love like blood, really.
Yeah.
Right? Got that. A love like blood. Right? It's so... just... But what do we want the story to finish on? Right? No, you got to, like, again, imagine each line is like a picture. What's the last picture we want to see?
I like that verb of like melting and exploding at the same time, right? So if you take this roller coaster of a journey, you've gone through the trials and tribulations, you're getting to this raw, earthy connection, and you've just like maximum love. Like you have no words to describe when you look at this little thing about what it actually means to you because you can't articulate it. So that's the melting, the exploding, the crescendo, the climax, if you like, or the crescendo.
Okay.
Is it a verb?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I think there's... Do you kind of get what I'm trying to go for? I want to close on an image.
I'm picturing like, so after all this, at some point, our to release again.
Yep.
Like their own now. So if it went like how it started,
yep.
And if it has this crazy explosion of just the thing of bringing a life into existence, and then at some point it's going to tail off into a sense of like they are going to do that themselves, and so it comes back down and relaxes, but in a more positive way. So not tension, but more as like a calm.
As a calm.
Kind of back to where we started, sort of, like the first beginning.
So what does that calm look? So
It looks like sunlight and your child walking away from you into their own.
Yeah, so it's contentment.
That's it. That's what we actually need to describe right now.
Kind of circle of life.
Yeah. I'm seeing like, sun in your eyes and you see their silhouette. And their child to adult
Can we please capture that? Like, that's exactly what I want to finish on. So,
asphalt sort of like in the road.
Yeah.
What's an image?
Baby steps.
The sun's in your eyes, but you can see that I can see your silhouette.
A sun doppelganger
Yeah,
image.
you kind of, and so it's like, and maybe the warmth is on your face, so it's nice feeling. You're breathing, you're outside.
It's not like they're walking into light, but they're okay.
So it's kind of a feeling of release, right?
Sort of plays back to that feeling about not knowing whether you need to protect them or not. Then you go and resolve that and you're not fine, they'll live, let them go.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm also looking at the fact that the crowd's thinned by about 50%, so I know we're going to keep moving, right? And thank you to all the stayers. But there is something here, and I think we're just going to have to bring this thing home real fast. One of my pet hates is when they repeat the first verse. You lazy bastards. Right? You lazy. Yes, your first verse was awesome, But get off your ass and do it again, right? Tell us a story. I'm not a massive Bruce Springsteen fan, but when I hear one of his songs and actually read his lyrics, right? I don't hear only his stuff, but I read his lyrics. He's really good at telling you a story, and literally evoking an image in your mind. And I'm trying to do that overtly here. All right, so we need to actually grab some of these. So there's something about the sun in your eyes while I see your silhouette walking to you in your life. Right? There's something around that. There's definitely what Jason was saying around that melting and exploding. There's something around looking into the mirror. So as you grow, you're like looking into a mirror, something along those lines.
Still protection. Somebody's trying to protect you. And you'll still keep correcting them when they don't need it.
It's probably almost the greatest form of protection is to actually let them grow, let them go, let them experience things themselves.
Yeah. How can I protect? And so let's write up some contradictions. How can I protect you when I have to let you go? Yep. There's a lyric right there, right? No, that's actually my opening lyric.
I'll protect you.
How can I protect you when one day I have to let you go? Right, I'm going to see it right now. Because that works, right? It just works. How can I protect you when one day I know I've got to let you Makes me crazy. I was thinking that. Call my name. Makes me crazy. What was the one about looking into the see you?
It's on the floor. Yeah.
See me for the first time.
Let's iterate that real fast because I'm going to forget it. All right. Now we're close. We are so damn close, and you guys are going, man, I just want to get home.
No, they want to record the song.
No, I think we're getting there. All right, we want to finish this.
It's not a ticket to get rich, isn't it?
Have you looked at the music industry? I actually met my wife at EMI Records. I was working there, she was working there, I met her there. And then it was 3 stories tall, cocaine parties and stuff. Did I say that? No one's filming. And EMI Records now is a couple of milk crates and a card table in the back street in Surrey Hills.
Crack instead of cocaine.
Oh no, they can't afford that. It's all Spotify, baby. You haven't written enough songs. Alright, so what was I going to start with again? How can I protect you? How can I protect you when I know got to let you go? You look back at me like a mirror, and I don't know what the next line is. Any inspiration, Steve? Where did that other one go? Here it is. We're close. Now this is most probably why people get lazy and just repeat the first verse. How can I protect you when I have to let you go? Flower blooming from our sin Now I don't think I'm talking to a child when I'm reading those, singing those lyrics.
That's the good thing about songs. You never know what they were written about, and it can switch. So for someone else, they could have thought they were trying to.
I'm going to tweak it a little bit. You're a flower that's bloomed from our city. Right.
Oh.
All right. You're a flower that's bloomed from our. Actually, we'll just go bass on this one, and then I'll come in halfway through.
Still going for an A&D.
Yeah, I know. Boring.
No, it's not really bad if I get it wrong though.
This is why the bass player looks so cool, because they're actually really kind of bored. Bass player's getting shots delivered to him by the roadie.
It's actually kind of like banking. You get paid, but you don't do.
Ouch!
Right. Noted.
You're a flower that blooms from out my sin. Come on into this life, jump right in. How could I protect you when I gotta let you go? You're holding a mirror while I watch you grow. You belong, I'm melting and exploding. Roller coaster takes you. I see.
Something. I needed to finish off on that silhouette one, didn't I? So, naughty me. All right, we're close. We're really close. So what did we start on? Can we number them so I can just quickly repeat, and then we're done? And then we're just going to go verse, chorus, I think. Yep. No, seriously, it does not go this fast in a recording studio. But you really want it to, because you're paying $2,000 a day for a recording studio. Yeah. I'm going to go hung out. Yeah. So
3 days organising drums.
So we started. So we started with that one. To his point. And then architecture, I think, was the next one. I chose this mirror one because I thought that was interesting.
You're going to put the call my name in the
Call my name, you drive me crazy. Yeah, so let's use that one.
just those two on the end. Yeah.
I think let's make this a short verse, not a long one. Yeah, let's use call my name. We'll get rid of the mirror one, I think. Even though it's a nice.
It's the last one on the third column on the right, and the fourth
Call
one.
my name.
Fourth one across. Fourth one across, yeah.
And then
Sort of silhouette.
Right
yeah.
away.
Yeah, there's something right.
We need some sticky tape.
Blue tag.
Blue tag.
I think let's just actually describe it up, but I'll give it a go while.
That's right.
You're the flower that's bloomed.
Made of our sin.
You're the flower that's bloomed. Made from our sin. Come on into this life, sweetheart, jump right in. How can I protect you when I know I've got to let you go? Maybe it'll be slow. Oh, faster. Somewhere between that and that. What was that?
The bass is working.
That's good. How's that feel? What's that? Your head's nodding. One, two, flower that blooms from our sin.
Now, my first reaction to all of that was the verse was way too long. Right, way too long. All right, I literally need, I think it's the flower blooms, how can I protect you when I have to let you go, and then get straight into the pre-chorus, and then we're done. I like, don't get me wrong, this is a hard thing. Sometimes you get a lyric and you go, oh, it's like a baby. Like, I love that lyric and I have to cut it out of the song. It's so hard to do that. And you just go, shit, but the song needs it. Now you get this in design sometimes. People go, I love this idea, I'm married to this idea. It's like, man, put it back up in the cloud. Put it back up there.
Help us with this one though, because that's real. So that's about how the double diamond has a little detours from time to time.
Yeah. And I think, so the melody I'm playing on here is something that I've just mashed together, like literally in this session, grabbed a couple of chord progressions and went, like quietly just, you know, that works, yeah. You know, and it does. And so I'm actually taking a few ideas, but those were sacrificed from a previous songwriting session, right? I loved them. One of those riffs I thought was just beautiful, and I couldn't use it because it didn't work in the song. And it's the same thing when you start to converge, I think in any process of crafting, I'm not going to use the B word per se, but any process of crafting, I think there are going to be great ideas that you're just going to have to let go and put them back up into your personal library of ideas.
You got a bag of them.
Yeah.
That's what experience brings. Yeah. That's why you can't be a designer in 12 weeks, people.
And you can't be a drummer in like how many years?
Well, this is taking ages. It's true. Like you can package it into templates.
Yeah.
But it's the craft and the experience that helps you on each journey that you're picking these things up upon.
So
what do you cull? What do you keep?
Well, I want to press you on this.
Just not as experience, but you are a designer.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have a right or a wrong answer. All I know is what I've been through, and that is growing up, writing songs, and then eventually finding this other field called design, experience design, and just fell into it. Right? There was Ben sort of saw me doing this. Like he was there. Like I was literally going. The light bulb went on and went. This is awesome, right? So I naturally gravitated to this.
So let me try to explore this with you because it's fantastic. Right? Yeah. You're actually writing a song in real time, which is beyond my ken, right? I don't have any understanding of how you do it. But what I've observed is that you have a bag of tricks. There's things you've got available that you can use.
Yep.
So what's the thing that tells you what it is you use in a particular moment as you've done? Because this is not about so much writing ahead, it's about understanding what you do. And I think this has been an incredible session. Incredible for revealing how it is that folks who have real talent at putting together something could just go, yeah, it's going to sound like this, it's going to sound like that. It comes out and then it multiplies, and it combines. And how does that actually work in your head? I mean, how do you actually wrestle with it? I mean, what's the secret?
A lot of it, I think, it's obviously there's a lot of trial and error, and there's a lot of instinct. So there's, and this is why I was talking about what are people feeling, and this is, I'm going to use the E word, but you've got to empathise with yourself and others. And I think part of it is there's an instinct associated with it. Yes, there's a certain amount of what you're born with. Right? If you listen to my 8-year-old daughter, she was born singing. Like literally at the age of 8 months, she could sing a melody. It's phenomenal to hear. So there's an element of, yes, you're innately got some talent. I think the other one is there's a lot of trial and error over years. So I guess you're right, you can't do it in 12 or 15 weeks or whatever. But then again, my daughter wrote a song in God knows what time. So there's an element of balancing those two. So there's trial and error. I think it is having enough
experience to create that catalogue or that bag of ideas that you can then leverage and rework and play with, as you've seen tonight. But there's also, I guess, that openness and that humility to explore other topics, like we did. Like we got that chorus because of that theme, because of that bittersweet conflict.
Where does the thing come that you don't expect? What kind of interaction does that?
In music or just generally?
Oh, well, whatever, but I mean generally. But I mean in the context of this evening, because I can't speak for the people here, but I think this has just been completely awesome. Seriously.
I think that's why.
Yeah.
The goodness comes when you get someone at the back going, oh, what about this? And you're
Yeah.
like, holy cow. Never even thought of that. That's the spark. That's
why I'm kind of trying to tease it out, because I think I don't want to cut short the process of building a great song.
I think
what we're introducing here is something actually pretty special, which is how it is that you do what you guys are doing.
I think the reason why I'm struggling to come up with a structured answer is because there is an element of instinct that I've tried to put into a structure. And I think this is the best way I've been able to articulate that structure.
So it was, how does it sound?
So, yeah, what is this, like, again, what does that feeling sound like? And then you've got to iterate and play and try to find that sound. So
you referred to design patterns quite a few times as well of, you'd normally do this, or this kind of works, and this other stuff doesn't necessarily work, so
there's a few conventions here. Collaboration, yeah absolutely. But
James Brown is not a convention, he's like...
But there was someone created a pattern, to your point, someone created a pattern that we could leverage off, right? And I've obviously got my own inspirations.
It's also driven by tools, right? I mean, someone created the patterns a long time ago for how many strings are on this, what notes they are, the frets in a certain position. So I know that's an E, I know that's also an E, and I don't have to look at it, and I don't know about it, right? But it's
Sorry, can you tell us again? No, seriously, I'm not being stupid. I'm actually, you're saying there's two different ways to play it.
There's lots of different ways to play it, right? There's only...
Play us both these.
Frequencies right now. I'm probably in the minority here that I'm not a designer, right? I can do what most of you do day to day, right? But if I work with a lot of designers, it's why I'm here. I've worked with Ben before, right? And I'll say, Ben, I need this kind of app, or I need it to do this kind of banking function. And you don't have to start from scratch, right? You've got some tools around. Well, I can't fill the page with crap, and numbers have got to be readable, and people have got to be able to interact with it, right? It's just a set of tools and things that you've got.
Fantastic. And when we were exploring the different moods, talk to us about that.
So when we were exploring the different moods, I think we had a few conventions which we were using as a template. But you notice I didn't want to dwell on them too much. Right? We've all got our biases, we've all got our preferences and our likes. The thing is...
But you knew you had a read to a mood. Sorry, let me be clear. You knew how to express a mood.
But the room also contributes what a mood sounds like.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
So I guess that I can't necessarily give you a logical structure apart from definitely minor key is a dark sound, right? So if I have to structure it a little bit, minor key is angry, typically. Yeah. It's usually dark. It's usually a little bit morose. All right. It's usually rebellion.
Entirely me.
Yeah. It's usually rebellion. Yeah. That's minor key. It is a little bit more aggressive. Whereas what we were playing there was nice and nice sounding. Right, and that's so. Certain chords will resonate, will represent certain moods.
I actually think there's a I can't remember who did it, but in the Middle Ages, someone mapped out all the chords and what people felt as a result of those chords.
Yep.
Yeah. And sometimes they've actually mapped things like refrigerators humming and how people feel around electronics making sounds in an environment.
It's all frequencies, man.
Frequencies.
So that's why
he smoked all the drugs.
But the reason, sorry, the reason I think I'm not sure if it was a good thing or a bad thing, but I didn't mean to interrupt the
No. I think we're close to done.
But what I was trying to do was to have you guys explain to us how there is a bunch of things you can draw on, and then there's something beyond what you draw on, which creates. And that's what I've heard this evening. I have no qualms. This is the best session we've ever had. Because it explores something that's difficult, which is creating in real time.
But I think, I think creating in real time is difficult, and but I think with anything that we create for humans, I think there has to be there's that soft gap, that nebulous gap between what templates we've got, the skills we've got, the tools we've got, and the inputs that we've got, to finding a way to translate that into something that you just
An emotive
reaction.
Which is why you did the thing at the beginning.
Yeah. So even though we went through multiple themes, somewhere I converted that. And you notice I was mostly panicking at one point, right? I'm going, how the fuck?
Incompatible things.
Now, I thought I had a sound and a set of chords that worked with that mood. I knew that there was a nice sounding set of chords that would go with that theme. But to get that chorus, which I still think needs a bit of kinking, massaging, but I still think there's something there.
Which was
that's what I want to
sound.
No.
So here's the thing: us three have never played together ever.
Yeah. Really?
Never. Before.
Wow.
Ever. First time tonight.
Please be respectful of that.
So that's one thing. Each of us have different experiences that we've brought together as a trio. Bringing you guys into that fold means we've brought your experiences into that too. Yeah. So the collaboration component actually helped work through those things. Yeah. So creating in real time is not hard. It's the expectation of the quality of the output of real time. It's the difficult thing.
At a point in time.
Things. You've done amazing things. You've attempted to produce a song, and you've produced a great song, but it's in an environment where you just have to do it. And
I think there's an element of, when you think about design thinking, it's about that fast. So Kingsley's saying we're doing it real time. The whole concept of design is to try and get it as real time as possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're trying to get it out there, and how does that feel?
And that hasn't happened just once. There's been lots of times where it was sort of muddling, and then it would just come out. And I think we're at that point now where it's almost all the way there, and we're almost at performance time of going, let's actually do a run of this, see what it sounds like. Because I reckon it's almost all the way there.
I think the other thing that I guess I want to emphasise, and we talked about empathy a lot in our profession, but it's if you nearly live, no, not necessarily live with a band, but you've been with a band so long, it's really hard to leave them because it's nearly like a relationship. And I mean, to the point where you're finishing each other's sentences, right? You know, everyone's walking into that room with the same collective mood.
But it's a riff.
Was that?
It's a riff.
It's a whole song though. But we actually walk into, literally, we'll walk in and we'll set the mood for the song. And I'll go, I've written the guts of this. I've done verse, chorus, and I need you guys. I would really want your help to finish it off. And I said the mood is somewhere between this and this. Here are some of the lyrics. Here are some of the images that I'm seeing, and then we all end up collectively really feeling the same thing. And what you've most probably experienced tonight is the three of us looking at each other.
Going, what the fuck?
We're talking a language to each other, and going, and we're actually
whatever.
But you've been able to do chord changes without even knowing each other. You know, you've never met JD or Mully ever before.
So that's what Ben was talking about with the patterns. Yeah. The patterns already exist. We've had experiences pulling them together.
And also knowing when it's going to change and how it's going to change and what fits what mood.
So the other key magic thing is what makes a good musician is their ability to listen to each other.
And make the singer look good.
So that's.
Well, I can't fix your wardrobe. But
So I'm very sorry to interrupt, but that's what I was trying to extract.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So maybe you can give us the final version.
All right, do we at least have the lyrics up? Because that way, and I'm going to get a beer before I do this. No, but do we at least have the lyrics up?
I think it was that, and it was
That's the chorus.
The bass is working, man. Especially that little crawl.
Bass
like
goes
that.
good. Bass goes always good. Unless it's Tina Weymouth.
The disruptor.
Yeah.
So what we might do is we might start with just guitar for a bit.
Yep.
Second verse is literally going to be all you, right? And then I'll come in on the pre-chorus.
Yeah.
I might do a little bit of stuff before the pre-chorus, but I'll come in on the pre-chorus.
Build there.
Yeah.
So I'll come in on the
Yeah.
chorus.
So it'll literally be a bass drum extravaganza for the second verse.
Cool. So, so chorus?
Sorry?
Do you want to come in on the chorus or the second verse?
Well, that'll be mainly start off with guitar, the first verse, then just chorus as normal. Right. Then you take the lead on this, so I'll pull back.
Yep.
4 on the floor. Then we'll go back to the chorus again. The guitar will start coming in. On this, we'll do the second lot again. So we'll go from the what have we got there? B sharp, and then to E. We'll do that 2 times. So we'll do the chorus twice. Yeah. Okay. Let's give it a go.
You guys get that?
Nah. All right. But this is the thing. We've got to talk structures. We've got to give each other a pattern that we now all have in our heads as to what we think we're going to do. All right. Have I got the right tempo? If you think of the second verse 4 on the floor, is it faster than that, or is that as much? Yeah, okay.
In the pocket, dude.
Thank God you're here. I'm in an ocean of fear, trying to find my way. I don't know why you're here. Where you feel safe, it's a precious moment. I give you anything. The world is yours. Out of this troubled life, make it worth it. When you smile, you can get to the Thank God power blows from my sin. Come on, baby, this life, jump right in. I cannot protect you while I have to let you go. And lost in this ocean, I don't know what I don't know. I give you everything. The world is yours. Out of this troubled life, in your sleep.
Not bad for three unknowns, yeah?
I'm just going to grab the microphone
And a perfect
momentarily.
2-minute 50-second pop song.
Momentarily.
Now
I
on
think
YouTube.
I think it's entirely appropriate that we give these guys a huge this is creativity at its best. I mean, how many people can actually do what these guys just did in front of you
I've never
with
done
your
this.
interaction?
I've never
and
done
I would please thank them again. It's totally awesome, and I just think it's wonderful. It's what we want to see more of, which is folks who do creative things, who have real talents, sharing with us about how it is not obvious how you produce something good, but you have to persist and do it. And what provides you with the ability to do that is what I think you've seen tonight, which is incredible skills on knowing what you can draw on to satisfy a community about what they want. And that's what these gentlemen have done for you tonight. So thank them again, and thank them way more than you need. I mean, that's just awesome. And, you know, I may be a strange, curious, miserable guy, but but you know, I also think back to what I said earlier, which is, you know, the Cramps were a curious band, a little bit strange, but good. They're really, really good. And the song that I heard tonight, even though I started with the whole anger thing, made me feel good, because that was the essence of the Cramps. You know, one guy met a girl and they loved each other until the end of time. Even though they were perhaps not the most normal.
They had a hit song called Goo Goo Muck.
Goo Goo Muck, which I love. Which, by the way, precisely describes the situation under Donald Trump. Which is another reason why I like them. But that's me. I would like to direct attention to the gentlemen who have given you a most excellent display of creativity and design thinking. So please, another hand.
I'm not saying anything more because I'm a high-functioning introvert. Bye.
And thanks to ThoughtWorks for hosting us.
Thanks for your ideas. Thanks for sticking with us. And thanks for being, just being part of the process.
Don't forget the
policy then play, don't we have like next version. Okay.
They just want royalty. You guys just want royalty.
Just don't try to
Yes, you did.
Stacey, that's your build up into something more optimistic and happy?
Yeah.
What you got going on?
So we need to lift it up. You're saying we need to
Well,
take
no,
this
I'm
up.
saying what you got there is like great release.
Yep.
Make something a little bit darker and capturing that anxiety and make that work.
All right. So we could actually really pare it back into something really quiet.
That's
I was thinking of something like actually switching it up on a different note. Like taking out.
Everything and the world is yours. Matter this your life. Make you resolve every. I don't know what you. I'll find a way. Open your eyes. This precious moment. The dark lives. Hey. Know that I I give you everything. The world is yours. No matter this true life, make it worth it. When you
second verse 4 and 4. Is it faster than that, or is that as much? Yep.
We'll do the second lot again, so we'll go from the what have we got there? B sharp. We'll do that two times. So we'll do it twice. Yeah. Okay, let's give it a go. Guys, get that? Nah. All right. But this is the thing, we've got to talk structures. We've got to give each other a pattern that we now all have in our heads as to what we think we're going to do. If you think of the second verse 4 and 4, is it faster than that, or is that as much? Yeah, okay. In the pocket, dude. Thank God you're here. I'm in an ocean of fear, trying to find my way. I don't know what you need.
don't know. I give you everything. The world is yours. From out of this troubled life, make it work. You're smiling in your sleep.
Not bad for 3 unknown, yeah?
I'm just going to grab the microphone momentarily.
I like it.
I think